Hi everyone, thank you for clicking on this little video, tuning into this YouTube little film. It's about the Gospel reading for the 32nd Sunday in Year A, and it's the story of the wise and foolish bridesmaids, and the Gospel reading is Matthew chapter 25 verses 1 to 13. So if you have a Bible, you might want to check out the story first, just it will help you to make better sense of the story. Before I begin, peace be with you. God's peace be there in your heart, in your life. It is there. May you know it. May you see it. May you feel it. The bridegroom was late. The bridegroom was late. There's people in my parish who tell me there'd be utter confusion and chaos should I ever start a Sunday morning Mass on time. Now, I may be unreliable, but I'm reliably unreliable. So that's one problem you'll never have if you come to my church. You're welcome. Being late. How are you with the challenge of people like me? It was said of the wonderful priest Henry Nouwen that he perfected the art of genuflecting on the run as he dashed into church. It wasn't that he was carelessly late, he was a deeply caring person. It's just that, like lots of holy fools, he'd become so absorbed in the moment that he'd lose track of time. Like if he was with you, you were the most important thing in the world, and everything else, all the neat schedules, just went out the window. You see, it's not just scatterbrains like me who are poor timekeepers. Look around. Mother Nature, just awful. Amazing days of autumn sunshine, just as soon as the half-term holiday is over. And timekeeping, well, don't get me started on the angels and the saints. They are rubbish at efficient time management. Have you ever walked into a supermarket queue behind a really kind and generous person? Nightmare. It's like the beautiful ones have their own unique time reality, and it's different from ours. What's going on? Excuse me. I sometimes think that the universe doesn't move at my convenience. I know. Am I paranoid? I get that sense that the universe doesn't revolve around me. Like, I put away some valuable time when I could be on my smartphone, and I'll say to the children in my life, okay, I'm ready now for that leaf that you wanted to show me, or that picture, or that story that you wanted to share with me. Or like I'll say, okay, Mother Nature, I'm ready now for that dappled sunshine thing that you do. Or I say, okay, friendships and relationships, I'll see you now. And they're like, Jesse, the moment has passed. It's gone. And you missed it. God is a wretched timekeeper. Lots of people have shared their experience of trying prayer and liturgy or meditation, and like there's been no instant or quick emotional reward or spiritual breakthrough. Even after a few goes, it's as if you're meant to go on sticking at it and embracing it and waiting on God with your poverty and with your need and never stop. In our gospel this morning, Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is like some bridesmaids waiting to welcome the groom waiting to welcome the groom with a torchlit procession. This was the ancient custom. 5 brought extra flagons of oil for their lamps, and 5 brought no oil at all. Now the 5 who brought no oil were, in the world's terms, the sensible and logical ones. This was for a daytime wedding, and there was no conceivable reason in bright sunshine to need extra oil. The great and blessed Robert Farrar Capon argues that the 5 who brought extra oil, who lugged extra just in case bleach bottles of kerosene with them, how uncool, how inelegant, were needlessly complicating their lives. And Father Capon imagines them as being the poor, the neurotic, the forgotten, the least, the last, because they understand in a way that the rich and the powerful and the popular never will, that this world does not work in a fair and efficient way. This week we've been waiting for the results of the election in America, an election not just important for Americans, but for the whole world. Brings back memories of President Obama's inauguration as America's first black president. I remember back in November 2008, this television interview with some elderly people waiting to hear one of his victory speeches. And it was in the very early hours of the morning, and people had been waiting not just for hours but for days to see him. And this reporter said to this really old black lady, how long have you been waiting? And she said, for 90 years. And tears were streaming down her cheeks. How long have you been waiting? For 90 years. The poor know how to wait. It's all that life teaches them. In Jesus' story, the bridesmaids who didn't bring extra oil missed the occasion. The groom is massively delayed until midnight, and then he suddenly arrives, so they go off in search for oil and miss the moment of grace. When they return, the moment has passed and its door is closed. Who are the bridesmaids in the story who come with no extra oil, of patience, longing, hope, need to see the beloved? Who are they? They're you, they're me, all of us. They are the disciples who miss Jesus in Gethsemane, and at the cross, and at Easter morning. Mary Magdalene doesn't miss a thing. Today's parable of the wise and foolish bridesmaids is not a story about afterlife, heaven and hell. God can and God will redeem all things, just as he redeems those not a drop, not a tiny drop of spare oil disciples. But here's the thing. What the foolish bridesmaids miss in Jesus' story is a wild, right now, party of grace. There are moments of healing and mercy and reckless joy that in our utter foolishness, in my utter screwed up priorityness, I miss, we miss, and we can never get them back. Please, God, give us midnight oil. Give us the patience of the poor, the faith of the littlest, the endurance of the forgotten, so that we too can wait and notice and embrace everything, every single thing from heaven that comes our way.